There are a lot of baseball leagues around the world. Some have been around over a century, others have just gotten started in the last few years. Baseball is an old sport, but it keeps finding new markets. So here I wanted to list all the baseball leagues of the world. Not every single league, or else I'd be here all day, but I've got over 50 leagues, including all the leagues of the MLB system, the North American Independent Leagues, Caribbean leagues, the major Asian leagues, and the biggest ones in Europe. I'll tell when, why, and how the leagues were created, how many teams they've got today, and where they're located, what team has won the most league titles, and what team won it most recently. If there's a league I don't mention here today that you'd like to give a mention to, leave a comment with all that information. Only including leagues that are still in existence today. If you want a list of leagues no longer in existence, I did a video on that about a year ago. Link, of course, is in the description. I'll try to go from the oldest to the newest in order of their founding dates, but as you'll see, it's not always clear. Some leagues disappear and reappear, some change names but continue with the same league records, some change names and totally reset everything, so it's hard to determine sometimes. But every league has a stated founding date, and I'll mostly go by that. Anyway, here we go. The National League was founded in 1876 as the replacement for the National Association, which dated back to 1871. It's the oldest professional sports league still in existence today. Though it no longer operates independently, it's part of Major League Baseball. Started with 8 teams but now has 15. LA Dodgers have the most NL titles with 24. Arizona Diamondbacks are the reigning champions. The International League, almost as old as the National League if you go by the earliest possible founding date. The Eastern League was founded in 1884 with 8 teams. In 1885, the New York State League and the Ontario League were established. In 1886, the latter two merged to form the International League, and in 1887, the Eastern League was absorbed. So the league often uses 1884 as its founding date, but it did not exist in its present form till 1912. During its history, it's had teams in Canada and Cuba, hence the name. Today, all 20 teams are located in the U.S. It's been a AAA league since 1946. The reigning champions are the Baltimore Orioles affiliate, the Norfolk Tides. Winningest team is the Washington Nationals affiliate, the Rochester Red Wings, with 19 titles. The American League, established in 1901 in its present form, and that's the year they go by. However, it previously existed as the Western League, a minor league with teams mostly in Great Lakes states, starting in 1885. In 1900, the name was changed to the American League, and a year later it became a major league. In 1903, it joined the National League to form Major League Baseball, and the champions of the two leagues met annually in the World Series from then on. American League teams have won 68 out of the 119 World Series played. Like the National League, the American League started with 8 teams and now has 15. The New York Yankees have won the most American League titles with 40. Defending champions are the Texas Rangers. The Texas League, founded in 1902 and has been running ever since. It was originally founded in 1888, but disappeared and reappeared under different names. It's been at the AA level since 1946. Today there are 10 teams, and despite the name, only half are in Texas. Other teams are in Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Defending champs are the Amarillo Sod Poodles, affiliates of the Arizona Diamondbacks. The most successful team, with 16 titles, is the Houston Buffaloes, a team no longer in existence. At the end of 1902, the Pacific Coast League was formed and played its first season in 1903, with 6 teams playing schedules of over 200 games. This was back when there were no major league teams west of St. Louis, so it was the top level of baseball on the West Coast. In fact, in 1945, the league voted to become a major league, but that was rejected by the National and American leagues. Today it consists of 10 teams and is one of 2 AAA leagues in the major league system. The San Francisco Seals, no longer in existence, won the most league titles with 14. Oklahoma City Dodgers were last year's champions. In 1903, the National League and American League came together under the National Agreement to form Major League Baseball. If counted as a single organization, then Major League Baseball is the oldest major professional sports league in the world, though it wasn't until 2000 that the NL and AL were officially merged. The championship, the World Series, was most recently won by the Texas Rangers last year. New York Yankees have won it a league record 27 times. The Florida State League was launched in 1919 with 6 teams in the state of Florida, shut down between 1928 and 1935, and has been going since 1936, except for a 4-year suspension during World War II. The league was high single A from 1990 to 2020, and is now at low single A. 10 teams, all in Florida. St. Petersburg Saints, a team no longer around, won it the most times with 8 titles. Miami Marlins affiliate, the Jupiter Hammerheads, are the reigning champions. The Intercounty Baseball League was founded in 1919 with 4 teams in Ontario, Canada. Today there are 9 teams, all in Ontario. 29 teams have come and gone over the last century. The Brantford Red Sox have won the league crown a record 15 times. Last year, the Welland Jackfish won the league title for the first time. The Honkbal Hoofdklasse was established in 1922 in the Netherlands, the oldest continuously running league outside of North America. 9 teams compete at the Hoofdklasse level, with promotion and relegation to a lower league. The playoffs end with the best-of-7 Holland series. Neptunus of Rotterdam are 18-time champions, but it was won most recently by the Amsterdam Pirates. In 1923, the New York-Pennsylvania League was created, but after some teams started moving to other states, it was renamed as the Eastern League in 1938, and it's been called that ever since. Today it's a Double-A league consisting of 12 teams in 8 different states, mostly on the East Coast. The Binghamton Triplets won a record 10 championships from the 1920s to the 60s. The Erie Seawolves of the Detroit Tigers organization won their first title last year. Liga Mexicana de Baseball was established in 1925, the oldest professional sports league in Mexico, and one of the 2 major professional baseball leagues in the country. It began with only 5 teams, but has grown over the years and just expanded to 20 teams this year. Pericos de Puebla entered this season as the defending Serie del Rey champions. Diablos Rojos del Mexico have claimed the most titles with 16. The Puerto Rican Winter League was founded in 1938 and today is known as Liga de Béisbol Profesional Roberto Clemente, LBPRC. It was the first organized league in Puerto Rico, though clubs had existed there since the end of the 19th century. The number of teams has gone up and down over the years, but they started with 6 teams and have 6 today. League champion moves on to the Caribbean Series. Last year it was won by Criollos de Caguas, their league record 21st LBPRC title. The Pioneer League was founded in 1939 with 6 teams in Idaho and Utah. It later expanded and attempted to become a 3rd major league in the 1950s. Nowadays, it's represented by 12 teams in 5 different states. Previously a minor league, it's been independent since 2021. The Billings Mustangs have won 15 Pioneer League titles since 1950. The Ogden Raptors are the defending champs. The California League was created in 1941. Previously, there had been several other leagues going by this name from 1887 into the early 1900s, and this one had a rough beginning. Started in 1941 with 8 teams, reduced to 4 teams the following season, then had to cease operations due to the war, but it restarted in 1946 and has been going ever since. 8 teams competing now, all in California. After being classified as high single A from 1990 to 2020, it's been low single A since 2021. The San Jose Giants lead the way with 12 league titles. The Modesto Nuts of the Seattle Mariners organization are the reigning champs. The Carolina League was established in 1944 and began play in 1945 with 8 teams, 6 in North Carolina and 2 in Virginia. High single A from 1990 to 2020, but now classified as low A. 12 teams from 4 states, most of them in the Carolinas. The Winston-Salem Dash played in the league from 1945 to 2019 and won the league title a record 11 times, but now they play in the South Atlantic League. Last year, the Charleston River Dogs of the Tampa Bay Rays organization won the league crown for the 3rd straight year. Liga Mexicana del Pacifico, the Mexican Pacific League, or LMP, was founded in 1945 as the Pacific Coast League, and changed the name to LMP in 1970. The LMP is played in the winter and sends its champion to the Caribbean Series. Started with just 4 teams, but has grown to 10. Most of the teams are located on or near the Pacific Coast. Naranjeros de Hermosillo are the reigning champions. They won their league record 17th LMP title last winter. The Venezuelan Professional Baseball League was created in December of 1945 and began play in January of 1946 with 4 teams participating. 8 teams compete presently. Leones del Caracas hold the league record with 21 championships. Last winter, Tiburones de La Guaira broke a 38-year title drought to claim the LVBP title. A week later, Tiburones won their first ever Caribbean Series. Back to the U.S., the Midwest League traces its beginnings to 1947 with the creation of the Illinois State League. In 1949, it was renamed the Missouri-Ohio Valley League after 1 team moved to Kentucky. The league later expanded to Indiana and Iowa, and in 1956 was given its current name. Low single A from 1947 to 2020. elevated to high single A in 2021. Presently, there are 12 teams in 5 different states. What started as an all-Illinois league now only has one team in that state. Minnesota Twins affiliate, the Cedar Rapids Colonels, are the reigning champs. The record for most league titles is shared by 2 teams. Milwaukee Brewers affiliate, the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, and the Lansing Lugnuts of the Oakland A's organization. Both teams have 9. The Italian Baseball League was founded in 1948 and rebranded as Serie A in 2021. Throughout its history, the league has usually had between 6 and 10 teams. But 3 years ago, they decided to merge the top 2 levels, creating a 30-team league, 29 teams in Italy, and 1 in the tiny nation of San Marino. Nettino, BC is the traditional powerhouse with 17 league titles. But Fortitudo Bologna is the best in recent years. They won their 14th Italian series last year. Also in 1948, the Colombian Professional Baseball League was established, today called the LPB. But it has not made a continuous run to the present day. The league existed from 1948 to 1958, then again from 1979 to 1988. Then the third era began in 1993 and continues to the present day. It's a 4-team winter league. Caimanes de Barranquilla have won the most league titles. They claimed number 13 last winter. Nippon Professional Baseball, the top level of baseball in Japan, was founded in 1949 and began play in 1950. It succeeded the Japanese Baseball League, which existed from 1936 to 1949. Many of the same ball clubs from JBL would move on to NPB. NPB is divided into 2 separate leagues, Central and Pacific Leagues. Each league has 6 teams, for a total of 12 altogether. This number has remained unchanged since 1958. The Yomiuri Giants have been the most dominant team, with 22 Japan Series titles. They were also the winningest team in the old JBL, with 9 championships. The reigning champions are the Hanshin Tigers. They broke a 38-year title drought to win it all last year. The Dominican Professional Baseball League, known as LIDOM, was launched in 1951, though the 4 founding teams are much older than that, and they held championships in the 1920s and 30s. The league has since grown to 6 teams. Tigres del Licey and Águilas Cibaeñas have both won 22 LIDOM titles. Tigres also won 2 titles before LIDOM, and they are the 2-time reigning champions. The Northwest League was established in 1955 as a replacement for the Western International League, which existed from 1937 to 1954, and most of the original 7 teams of the Northwest League were carried over from the former league. Today there are 6 teams, 2 in Oregon, 3 in Washington, and 1 in Vancouver, BC, home to the reigning champions, the Vancouver Canadians. The record for most league titles is shared by 3 teams. The Eugene Emeralds, Spokane Indians, and Yakima Bears have all won it 8 times. In 1955, NPB's minor leagues, the Eastern and Western Leagues, were created by merging the Kansai Farm League and the New Japan League. 8 teams in the Western League, 6 teams in the Eastern League. Western League, Hanshin Tigers hold the most championships with 18. SoftBank Hawks are the reigning champs. Eastern League, Yomiuri Giants won last year's crown for a league record 28th time. The Nicaraguan Professional Baseball League, LBPN, was founded in 1956. But was shut down in 1967, didn't come back till 2004, and it's been running steadily ever since. A 5-team winter league, Indios del Bor, one of the league's original teams, has 9 league titles, more than anyone else. The champions from last winter are Gigantes de Rivas. South Atlantic League, this one can be a bit confusing. Since 1904 there have been a few leagues that use this name. The current South Atlantic League was originally the Western Carolinas League, founded in 1948. But wasn't part of the Major League system till 1963, and that's what's usually given as its founding year. The name was changed to the South Atlantic League in 1980. It was elevated from low single A to high single A in 2021. 12 teams, 11 on the East Coast, from Georgia all the way up to New York, and 1 in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The Greenville Drive won their league record 5th title 1 year ago. Southern League, 1964. The original Southern League ran from 1885 to 1889. Then there was the Southern Association from 1901 to 1961. Then in 1964, the original South Atlantic League, the one we just covered, was rebranded as the Southern League, with league records beginning from that season onward. 8 teams in Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Florida, one of the 3 AA leagues. Tennessee Smokies are the reigning champs. Birmingham Barons have the most titles with 7. The Florida Complex League, founded in 1964 as the Sarasota Rookie League, later renamed the Florida Rookie League. then the Gulf Coast League, and in 2021 the Florida Complex League. 15 teams take part, rookie level of the MLB system. All teams use the name of the parent club. The FCL Yankees have claimed a record 13 championships. The FCL Braves took the most recent one. Cuban National Series 1961. This replaced the Cuban League, a professional league that existed from 1878 to 1961. The former and the latter are not related at all. The Cuban National Series started with 4 teams but now has 16. It was a winter league from the time it started all the way till a few years ago, when it made the switch to the summer. The winningest team is Industriales with 12 titles. The reigning champs are Las Tunas. The Korea Baseball Organization's KBO League opened its doors in 1982. Though baseball had been played there a long time, this was Korea's first professional baseball league. 6 original teams, they've had 10 since 2015. Kia Tigers have won it 11 times in the 42-year history. The reigning champs are the LG Twins. They ended a 29-year title drought in 2023. Baseball Bundesliga 1984. This was the second national league created in Germany. The original one existed from 1951 to 1970. There have been as many as 16 teams, but it's been gradually reduced in recent years, now sitting at 11. 5 in the North Division, 6 in the South. The Mannheim Tornadoes lead the way with 10 Bundesliga titles. But last year they were relegated after going 1-23 for the season. The Heidenheim Heidekep are the defending champs. They've won it 6 out of the last 9 years. Dominican Summer League 1985, rookie level of the Major League system. 50 teams in 6 divisions. Teams take the name of the parent club. Many of the parent clubs have 2 teams in the Dominican Summer League. Most league titles, the DSL Dodgers. Reigning champs, DSL Dodgers Bautista. The third and final rookie league, the Arizona Complex League, started in 1988 as the Arizona League, renamed to the ACL in 2021. 15 teams, all with the name of their parent club. The ACL Athletics lead the league with 6 titles. The ACL Brewers were last year's champions. The Chinese Professional Baseball League, not in China, in Taiwan, founded in 1989, took the field in 1990. Like Korea, Taiwan was late in getting a professional baseball league started, even though baseball had been a big thing on the island for a long time. 4 teams originally, they've now got 6. Weichuan Dragons won the Taiwan Series in 2023. The Uni Lions have won it a league record 10 times. KBO Futures League 1990. 8 years after the KBO launched, they got themselves a minor league. 11 teams, 6 in the Southern League, 5 in the Northern League, 1 for each of the 10 KBO teams. And 1 team, the Sangmu Phoenix, made up of players who were serving their compulsory military service. Back to Arizona. The Arizona Fall League opened for business in 1992, an off-season league for young minor league prospects. Started with 6 teams, and that has not changed. The Peoria Javelinas topped the league with 7 titles. Last year's champs were the Surprise Saguaros. Frontier League 1993, an independent league that just recently expanded to 16 teams, 3 in Canada and 13 in the eastern half of the U.S., from Illinois to the East Coast. No real dominant team here. The Schaumburg Boomers have the most league titles with 4. The Quebec Capitals are 2-time reigning champions. Czech Baseball Extraliga was created in 1993 with many teams carried over from the Czechoslovak Baseball League, which existed from 1979 to 1992. When Czechoslovakia was dissolved, the 2 countries formed separate leagues. There are 8 teams playing at the Extraliga level. Extraliga has been utterly dominated by 1 team. Drazi Brno, the 2-time defending champions, have won the Czech Series 24 times in the league's 31-year history. The Atlantic League of Professional Baseball, founded in 1998, an independent league consisting of 10 teams, the highest level of play among all independent leagues. 8 teams located in Atlantic Coast states, 1 in West Virginia and 1 in Kentucky. The Lancaster Barnstormers won their 2nd consecutive title last year, then in the offseason changed their name to the Stormers. The Somerset Patriots won 6 ALPB championships to top all teams, but they now play in the Eastern League. In 2005, another independent league was established, the American Association of Professional Baseball. This new league was formed when 4 Upper Midwest teams decided to leave the Northern League. The Central Baseball League disbanded around the same time, and 5 teams from that league, all in southern states, joined those 4 teams, plus 1 expansion team, to create a 10-team league. Today there are 12, 1 in Canada, 11 in Middle America, from Texas to Minnesota, with 5 on or near Lake Michigan. Kansas City Monarchs are the reigning champions. They are tied with the Winnipeg Goldeyes for the most titles with 3. Then it was Japan's turn to start opening independent leagues. In 2005, Shikoku Island League Plus played for the first time. Shikoku is the only one of Japan's 4 main islands that does not have an NPB team, so this brought professional baseball to the island. 4 teams compete. Last league title was won by the Kochi Fighting Dogs. Most successful team is the Kagawa Olive Gainers, with 7 league titles. 1 year later, 2006, another independent league popped up in Japan. Baseball Challenge, or BC League. It's got 7 teams, all located in the middle of Honshu Island, the main island of Japan, mostly in prefectures that don't have an NPB team. Reigning champs are the Musashi Heat Bears. Most championships belong to the Gunma Diamond Pegasus, with 5. The Australian Baseball League was founded in 2009, first season played in 2010. This was actually a relaunch of an old league of the same name that existed from 1989 to 1999, with some of the same ball clubs, but the records were all reset with the relaunch. Started with 6 teams, expanded to 8, now they're back to the original 6. Adelaide Giants won their 2nd straight title earlier this year. For most titles, it's a tie between the Brisbane Bandits and the Perth Heat. Both teams have won it 4 times. Back to the U.S. for the founding of another new independent league. The Pecos League was established in 2010, first season played in 2011. Started with just 6 teams, but now has blown up to 16. 6 teams in California, 3 in Texas, others in Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and Oklahoma. Most recent champs, the San Rafael Pacifics. Most overall titles, the Roswell Invaders, with 4. 2011 saw the rebirth of professional baseball in Panama. The Panamanian Professional Baseball League, LPBP, commonly known as ProBase. Professional baseball had existed in Panama from 1948 to 1972, and again for 1 season in 2001 and 2002. In 2011, they formed a league that would stick. The league has a different name and retained none of the teams from the old league, so 2011 is the starting year. Only 3 teams competed last year in a 1-month season, though there are usually 4 teams. Federales de Chiriquí are the 2-time defending champs. Those 2 titles are the most of any active team. The Empire Professional Baseball League, another U.S. independent league, created in 2015 and started playing in 2016. A low-level league for recent college grads and players with limited professional experience. Started with 4 teams in 3 different states, but the 4 teams it's got now are all in New York State. The Malone Borderhounds were the 2023 champs. The Plattsburgh Thunderbirds are the only team to win it twice. One more indie league, the United Shore Professional Baseball League, established and started play in 2016. The players are mostly 25 and unders who went undrafted out of college or were released by minor league clubs. Only 4 teams, and they are all located in the Detroit metro area. In 8 seasons, the Utica Unicorns have won it all 5 times, including last year. In 2022, the Cuban Elite League began play. The Cuban national team and clubs from the Cuban National Series had been failing to meet expectations in international play, so the Cuban Elite League was set up, a 6-team league using only the best players from the 16-team Cuban National Series. In its first season, there were 6 teams, each using players from 2 to 3 National Series teams. In the second season last year, they changed it to where the top 6 teams from the National Series in the summer competed in the Elite League in the winter. Cocodrilos de Matanzas were the champions. 2023 saw the debut of the Curaçao Professional Baseball League, a winter league that replaces the old AA league they previously had in the summer. For the first season, 3 teams played a quick 8-day season. Winners were the Curaçao Suns. And of course there's Baseball United, a league that was founded in 2022 but has yet to play its first season. All they've done was a 2-game All-Star Series last November. There's 1 team in India, 1 in Pakistan, and 2 in the UAE. 4 more teams expected to be announced later this year. Teams are loaded with former players from MLB and the MLB system. Don't know if there will be any new leagues founded this year or next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if more leagues emerge in the next few years. Can't wait to see where the next one's going to be. Anyway, that's all for this one. Until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya!